Scrub-a-dub-dub, what's in the tub, what's going on my subscribers? Ace here, and today we have the CCL Week 5 official match between myself and Erica, the head coach of the NewBark Ninetails. And now, looking at the team preview, I looked over and I said, yes! She did not bring the Jirachi, which was something that I was a little afraid of because Scarf Jirachi outspeeds my entire team. And she didn't bring it, so I was like, alright, that's fantastic. You know, planning went well. And we don't even have to deal with the biggest threat that I thought. So I was like, okay, the first things that I really have to identify is that Gengar and Whiscash are problems. I have Mamoswine for the Flygon, and I can set up Stealth Rocks for that Rotom Heat. The Banette's going to be annoying, probably going to end up being Destiny Bun. But I think if I put the offensive pressure on Erica, I can kind of go with my game plan of trying to make her team submit. And Diancie is going to be pretty integral to that. But I have to get the Gengar and the Whiscash out of there. Now, I figure she's either Scarfed Gengar or Scarfed Flygon. But I wasn't really sure. I didn't want to assume anything right off the bat because I wasn't sure like how her team was formulated. But I figured she'd either lead off with the Whiscash or the Rotom because Whiscash can take a hit right off the bat and Dragon Dance up, and Rotom has the access to Volt Switch. So I decided to lead off with Swallow because I outspeed both of those Pokemon, and I can just U-turn out into something that has a better matchup. And if I don't have like if it's something that I can match up against, like say the Vaporeon, then I can just protect up and then get my Flame Orb boost, and then I can proceed to work from there depending on how Erico decides to respond. So like I said, first turn leading off with Swallow. And Erica issues the challenge. We rolling out with Swowbird, looking fly. And she decides to lead off with the Whiscash, and I was like, okay. Here I don't really like this matchup because I don't want to get popped by a Waterfall after a Dragon Dance. So I just U-turn out, and I'm going straight into my body, my boy Hard Body. Because Hard Body can beat this thing 1v1. Just because Waterfall, Earthquake are really its two strongest moves, and they're not going to do much to me. So I'm like, okay, I can try and bide for Scald Burn here if it permits, but I have the Toxic there just in case shenanigans go on. And as you guys can see from right here, from the Zen Headbutt, I flinch, and I'm like, okay, that puts me in a tough position. I can try and get off one Scald with Hard Body just to try and get the burn and see how much damage it does to try and scout out what investment Erica is. So I go for the Scald here, and I see that it does a decent amount, so that means she has some HP investment in this thing, and leftovers kind of confirm that as well. So I'm like, okay, I have to go for the Toxic here just to whittle this thing down, and just hope I don't get flinched or anything like that. And that Waterfall does a lot, and I was like, wow, it's not very effective, and then I was like, oh, it's a crit. So right here, I'm a little behind the 8-ball because of hacks, but I still think I'm in a good position here. Hard Body can still take a couple hits, but I think I have to swap out into Arcanine here because she knows that that Waterfall isn't going to do much to War Turtle, so she's probably going to go for the Zen Headbutt. And like I know that's a risky play, but I felt the play coming here, and I was like, okay, you know, no reason not to take advantage because a Waterfall is not going to kill me, and Earthquake's not going to kill me from this range. Plus, I'm getting the Intimidate off, bringing her back down to neutral, and because she's HP invested, that means she has to take some out of either speed or attack, and I'm betting it's probably an attack, because she does need the speed, because Dragon Dance only helps her so much. So we get that Rocky Helmet damage off, which is really nice, and I'm just going to swap right back out here into Hard Body because I still want this Arcanine healthy enough for that Mega Banette. So I'm going to swap right back out into Hard Body, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of be your job here, Hard Body, is just to kind of eat up 2 hits if you can, and lives once. So I was like, okay, now we can just get this thing down, and I can bring in Ambipom and fake it out and take it out, and then she kind of has to respond with her speed counter, and I figure that's probably going to be what she brings as a choice scarf, or it's going to either be the Gengar or the Flygon. So I was like, okay, so Hard Body goes down here to that Earthquake, and I'm here looking from the Toxic damage. I can just take this thing out with a Fake Out. So Ambipom comes in. Bam, Robin. ready to go. Now this thing's out of the way, so that's a major threat to my team gone. Now I really need to focus on getting the Gengar and the Vaporeon out of the way, and I figure either one of those or the Flygon's coming out, like I said, and she brings out the Gengar here, and I was like, okay, this is definitely a Toy Scarfer. Now, Robin dodges the Focus Blast, and I was like, hey, that's nice. And I felt really bad for Erica. I kind of typed to her, I was like, I'm sorry about that. And it was a crit either, like, like it mattered. It kills, so I think it's 150%. But she is Choice Scarfed, and I felt really bad there because now it kind of puts Erica's team in a position where she can't really win because of like the offensive presence I have. Gengar was kind of the one check to most of it. Diancie, but having Ambipom dodge that just really put me in a fantastic position. And I go for the return there. It does a ton of damage, and Flygon is able to take me out here and bring itself down to Life Orb. Just above, probably about 20%, or just below 20%, sorry. So I make Evolve here, and I know this thing's going to outspeed me, so I just go for the Protect. She's either probably going to go for U-Turn or Earthquake, because she probably wants to save this thing. I figure U-Turn's probably the move to go for, but I just Protect up there, and now I'm able to get off a Moonblast, because I figure nothing really wants to swap in on it. Now I'm kind of like, okay, what does she want to bring in here? I figure the Vaporeon could come in here and create some problems for me. But she actually goes into the Banette, and I was like, okay, I know a lot of people know that this thing gets Prankster right off the bat, but I don't know if everybody knows that Prankster doesn't activate until after the turn you Mega Evolve. So I just stay in here just to see what she'll do. Because I figure she's going to try and Destiny Bond me and bring me down, because this thing creates a lot of matchup problems for her. Last remaining Pokemon, specifically the Rotom Heat, because it can't really touch me. But she does end up protecting there, so I swap out on the following turn and just bring in Ace here, because she can't. I know she can't Will-O-Wisp against Diancie, but I figure she's either going for a Destiny Bond or a physical attack. And I can just Will-O-Wisp up here on this thing if it's trying to stand against me. I know it's a free swap in for the Rotom Heat, but that's kind of what I'm trying to bait out, is I want the Rotom Heat to go down, because then Swallow kind of has a way with the last remaining Pokemon. So the Rotom Heat does come out here, and I'm like, okay, yeah, bait it out with the Will-O-Wisp. Now I can just go for a Crunch here, and that should put it in a range from the Crunch damage. That should put it in a range for a a Diamond Storm to kill. And I figure she might try and Volt Switch out here, or Thunderbolt again. So I bring in Mamoswine here, and she does go for the Thunderbolt, and I was like, okay. Now I can put up Stealth Rocks here in case she wants to predict my Rock Slide and swap out. But she stays in, and like I was okay with this thing getting Will-O-Wisp, but it ends up not getting Will-O-Wisp, and I was like, hey. So I figure she's probably going to go for it again, and I just bring in Diancie to Magic Bounce that back. And that's what ends up happening there. So Magic bounces back. And now I'm free to go for a Diamond Storm. Nothing really wants to come in on this. Maybe the Vaporeon. But she reveals she has a berry specifically for my Diamond Storm. And I was like, ooh, that was nice. I'm not sure, like how much that helps her. Like, if she had HP Steel, maybe. But she just goes for the Overheat. And it's not really going to do much to me. But props to Erica there. It threw me off guard a little bit. But yeah, no, here I outspeed again, so I can just go off for a Diamond Storm. Pop this thing down. And yeah, no, like in this position, I'm like, okay, it's a Vaporeon and Mega Banette left over. So like I'm in a good position here. I can just get off some good damage against this Vaporeon. I figure it's a physically bulky variant, so I'm just going to go for the Moonblast just to get off the maximum amount of damage that I can, and let Diancie go down here. So she go for the Scald, and that takes down Diancie. No world am I living that ever. So now I'm here, I'm like, okay, I can just swap in Swallow and kind of clean up here, and try and do it as respectfully as possible, because I know the hacks really were against me in the beginning, but that knockoff Focus Blast exchange really put it in my favor. So she protects here, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can just get off a Brave Bird with Guts boost now. And I calced it here, and the lowest roll that I could get was 49%, and I was like, okay, that's pretty good for me. I'll just go for a Brave Bird here, and she's at like 51%, I would say, and it brings it down all the way. And she let me know it was 2 HP, and I was like, oh, the lowest of low rolls. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Because Mammal Swine can just come in here and kind of clean up for me, and if anything goes whack, then I can just bring an Arcanine and Will-O-Wisp the Banette, and it can't Destiny Bond bring me down, so I'm fine there. So I bring in Cha-Cha, the Mammal Swine here, and she protects just to try and, like, I guess, scout and see if I'm, like, Scarfed or something like that, but I'm not. I just go for the Earthquake. I'm Focus Sash. And yeah, this is pretty much like the end here. Like I Earthquake, and then she's gonna bring in the Banette next turn. And I figure she can probably go for the Will-O-Wisp and try and stall me down. But I just want to get off the maximum amount of damage against the Banette, just because I don't want it to have an opportunity to try and 1v1 my Arcanine. So I'm just like, okay, I just want to get off this Earthquake here and bring this thing down as far as I can. And it lives with a decent sliver, so I shard because I don't want any shenanigans of this thing like Shadow Sneaking and killing me with a crit. I know I have Focus Sash, but either way. But yeah, no, that brings me down with the Destiny Bond, and Arcanine is my last Pokemon, so I win with a 1-0. I could have made it like a lot steeper if I really wanted to, but I felt bad for Erica there because that Gengar play, her missing the Focus Blast, I was just like, that it evens out the hacks a bit, but, that kind of puts her team in a bad position. I didn't really feel it was needed. So I decided, just go the, like, methodical route and kind of just pressure her down. Because I could have swapped around a bit and, like, made it really difficult for, like, her team and kind of frustrated her, made it like a 4-0 or something like that. But I didn't really feel that was the right thing to do, because I'm already confirmed to the playoffs with this win, and it doesn't matter the differential, because I still have 2 weeks to kind of, if it really matters, I have 2 weeks to build that up, because I have a lot of respect for Erica, and I think that she has done well this season. She's just had a lot of hard matchups. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the battle on Erica's side, and look at her commentary and kind of see like her mindset behind that. Make sure to hit that like button down below on my videos. Subscribe for more content like this. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Ace. I'm out. Bye-bye.